Stop waiting. That habit is silently killing your potential. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you train your brain to stay weak today. Tony Robbins always says, your life changes the moment you decide that excuses are no longer acceptable. You don't lack talent. You don't lack resources. You lack urgency. Most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they tolerate a life they secretly hate. Comfort feels safe, but comfort is dangerous. It steals your hunger, dulls your focus, and convinces you that average is acceptable. Here's the truth. Pain is unavoidable, but the pain of regret lasts forever. Discipline hurts for a moment. Regret hurts every single day. If you keep doing what's easy, life will stay hard. If you do what's hard, life becomes unstoppable. Decide today, not next week, not next year, right now. Change your standards, and everything changes with them. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because that moment is the lie that's been holding you hostage your entire life. Right now, somewhere deep inside you, there's a voice that already knows this. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another video, another quote, another plan. What you need is to stop doing the one thing that's quietly destroying your future. Lowering your standards and calling it patience. Tony Robbins has said it again and again. Your destiny is shaped not by your conditions, but by your decisions. And the most dangerous decision people make is deciding to wait. Waiting until they feel ready. Waiting until fear disappears. Waiting until circumstances improve. But here's the brutal truth. Fear doesn't disappear before action. It disappears because of action. Confidence is not something you discover. It's something you earn by keeping promises to yourself. Most people don't fail because life is unfair. They fail because they practice self-betrayal every single day. You tell yourself you'll wake up early, and you don't. You say you'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. You promise you'll change, and then you choose comfort instead. And every time you break a promise to yourself, something inside you weakens. Your self-trust erodes. Your identity shrinks. Over time, you stop believing in your own word. That's not laziness, that's conditioning. Let me be clear, your habits are not random. They are votes for the kind of person you believe you are. When you consistently choose comfort over growth, you're not just avoiding pain, you're reinforcing an identity of someone who settles. And settling is the most expensive decision you'll ever make. It costs you your energy, your confidence, your ambition, and eventually your peace. People say they want success, but what they really want is success without discomfort. They want the reward without the discipline, the results without the repetition, the transformation without the temporary pain. But that's not how life works. Growth requires pressure. Change demands discomfort. Every meaningful breakthrough comes after a moment where quitting feels easier than continuing. Think about this. The pain you're avoiding right now, discipline, effort, rejection, uncertainty, is temporary. But the pain you're choosing instead, the pain of regret, self-doubt, and unrealized potential, lasts forever. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. Tony Robbins teaches that quality of life comes down to quality of questions. So ask yourself this. What am I pretending not to know? You already know the habit that's holding you back. You already know the conversation you've been avoiding. You already know the action you should have taken months ago. The problem isn't clarity. The problem is courage. Comfort is seductive. It whispers, you deserve a break. It says just one more day. It convinces you that average is acceptable because everyone else is doing it too. But comfort is a thief. It steals your hunger and replaces it with distraction. It dulls your edge and calls it balance. It keeps you busy so you don't notice that you're not actually moving forward. Busy is not productive. Motion is not progress. And thinking about change is not the same as changing. Here's what high performers understand. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your standards. Goals are something you aim for. Standards are something you live by. If your standard is, I'll try, you'll always have excuses. If your standard is, I do what I say, your life begins to transform immediately. Stop negotiating with the voice that wants to keep you small. Stop asking how long it will take. Stop measuring effort instead of results. Winners don't wait for motivation. They create momentum. They act even when they don't feel like it. Especially when they don't feel like it. You see, emotion follows motion. Action creates belief. Progress fuels confidence. But none of that happens if you keep waiting to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. You don't become ready. You become committed. And commitment is different. Commitment says, no matter how I feel, I do what needs to be done. Commitment doesn't care about moods. Commitment doesn't listen to excuses. Commitment burns the boats and forces growth. Look at your life honestly. Where have you accepted less than you're capable of? Where have you normalized stress, frustration, or dissatisfaction and told yourself, this is just how it is? That sentence has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. Tony Robbins says the strongest force in the human personality is the need to remain consistent with how we define ourselves. So redefine yourself. Stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. Start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. Someone who shows up. Someone who follows through. You don't need to change everything today, but you must change something today. One decision, one action, one standard. Because momentum doesn't come from massive moves. It comes from consistent ones. Understand this. Your past does not define you. Your excuses do. Your future isn't decided by what happened to you. It's decided by what you choose next. The moment you stop blaming circumstances, you reclaim your power. Life will test you. There will be days when quitting feels logical. Days when progress feels invisible. Days when the old habits try to pull you back. That's not a sign to stop. That's a sign you're close to a breakthrough. The difference between people who transform their lives and those who don't isn't intelligence, luck, or resources. It's tolerance. Some people tolerate pain of discipline. Others tolerate pain of regret. The question is, which pain are you choosing? Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for approval. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop waiting for the fear to go away. Do it scared. Do it tired. Do it uncertain, but do it. Decide today that your standards are higher than your excuses. Decide that your future matters more than your comfort. Decide that this version of you, the one who delays, doubts, and settles, ends right now. Because the moment you change what you expect from yourself, everything around you begins to rise to meet it.